You've both talked about rebuilding trust with communities of color in Denver. How will you do that specifically?
Yeah, so to me, one of the central changes that I plan to bring to the office, and I talked a little bit about this earlier in the show, is my community engagement piece. But it's not just about assigning prosecutors to neighborhoods to work with police. It's also about having community members be part of the office. We talked a little bit about a police accountability person. I also need to have someone who understands the school system and works with schools and juveniles to come in on staff. I really feel strongly about having someone with gang violence and gun violence nonprofit experience come in and educate and make sure that the office looks like the community we serve. I want to hire lawyers that reflect the diversity, but I want to make sure that if we can't find those lawyers, we also have people who have community engagement roles to really help community feel like they have a connection to the DA's office.
I heard you just the other day criticize a portion of what she has again said here, suggesting that if you can't find great attorneys of color, well, then just hire staff members to diversify your office. And you essentially said that was an abdication of your duty to actually truly diversify the prosecutorial force. Could you start there with your critique there and talk about that idea of how you see rebuilding communities of color's trust working?
So I think it is so important that we recognize that, of course, it is important to have diversity in staff, but it is crucially important to have diversity among the actual prosecutors in the office. And that means taking a determined effort to make sure that you're reaching out to the law schools, working with the specialty bars, the Sam Carey bar and the Hispanic bar and other bars and the Asian bars to make sure that you're recruiting people into the office. And here's a crucial thing, that when they get into the office, that there's an environment that is inclusive enough that they feel welcome and they stay. Because it's often the case that you have diverse attorneys who come in and they don't stick around for very long, and that can't be the situation. While I was U.S. Attorney, we worked very aggressively to do that, and we had some success. Not as much as I would have liked, but it is a process. It's not something that happens automatically. You work on it. I speak Spanish fluently. I was an exchange student when I was in middle school. Reaching out to the community in a direct way, the Latino community, the Spanish-speaking community is something I care about. And it also matters to me very much to be working in the Black community in this city as well as others, so that there is a constant exchange of information and that they know the DA, the elected DA, is present. Now, I will say this one other thing that I think is important, and it's a place where I think Leora and I actually agree. It is important that we have people in the office who are dedicated community engagement folks across a wide variety of areas. There are community engagement people in the DA's office now, but I go back to when Bill Ritter was DA 20 years ago. He had a very full-fledged community relations and community engagement team. That's something that I would duplicate.
I want to address that for a minute. You know, Kyle, I've been to so many forums as a participant, and I've heard elected officials and new leaders say things like, I want my office to reflect what the community looks like. They all say that. And then after they get elected, a year later, you go back to the town hall or the community, and they say, nobody applied for the jobs. No one applied. And I want to say that I recognize that, of course, we must do everything we can to recruit communities of color to come and be lawyers in the office. But being a lawyer in the office is only one job. And I understand why there might be some people from Black and brown communities that say, I can't be a prosecutor and ask for prison time. That's just not my role. Can I come in and advise on gun and gang violence? Yeah, I can do that. And that is where we have to be creative when we make change.
I want to talk about the...
Please go ahead. Can I just say,
yeah.
I don't think it's impossible. I think we can do this. I think we can, in fact, get diverse prosecutors into the office, and I will move heaven and earth to make sure it happens.